Hello everyone, welcome to another LIFECAST. This week we are talking about being down on your luck, which is an interesting one because I've got a few different takes on it. I think for me sometimes in life, I think life goes in cycles. I think sometimes when I look back over my life, there's been some times when you just cannot catch a break and it's just one challenge after another challenge after another challenge, and you're just kind of hoping and praying for your luck to change. And just as, you know, on the Be The Standards, we had Barry Hearn talk about when you're expecting a hand up, expect a kick on the balls. And I really related to that in life because you just think, I just need a break from somewhere, and then there's just more misery. But I've also experienced when things are going well, and I'm like, wow, God, I'm buzzing with the happy days. This day can't get any better. And then something else happens, and then something... And you could ride that for whether it's hours, days, weeks, months, and you're just like, I am flying at the minute. Everything I touch turns to gold. So the whole being down on your luck, I think people talk about sometimes that misfortune and not sometimes good luck as much. People are very quick to say, oh, I'm unlucky there. I've had some bad luck, whereas people won't think twice about saying, oh, got really lucky there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll always be the negative. So
Yeah.
I think there's loads. I'm fascinated with the whole idea of luck. Some people are lucky, some people unlucky, and the whole idea of being down on your luck, because I think sometimes it can be just a negative mindset. It's nothing to do with luck. Sometimes it's just, well, Paul's only doing well because he grew up in this area, or he just happened to be at right place, right time, and he's lucky. And I never had that. You know, I'm down on my luck because maybe it might just because he worked harder than you. So I think there's.
If you take your years so far, how old are you now?
35.
35. Can't believe that still, but we'll go with it. 35, what would you say? Because as you say, there's cycles. Do you think you've been lucky? Mainly unlucky or mainly lucky?
I think in general, I'm lucky. I think I'm really, really lucky in life, which sounds mad considering, you know, I lost my mum at 12, got blown up, got told I couldn't have kids and got one leg. But I think I'm one of the luckiest people in the world. I really do. And that's what I'm saying. I think it can be about a mindset as well. Even, I think the luckiest thing that happened to me this year, and I'd say probably every year is a good thing. I could pick out lucky things from most years. And this is, again, where you talk about luck. Is it really luck? Probably not. But after 14 years, I won my compensation claim with the government after being injured in Afghanistan, which is a joke in itself. But anyway, and so I'd say I was lucky for that to finally come to a head. But in reality, it wasn't luck. It was a lot of hard work by myself and my surgeon to put a case together, which thankfully won. But I guess that's one of those things I'd say I was a lucky year to finally come to an end, if you like. So, but it wasn't really luck. It was a lot of, you know, hard work and perseverance and resilience to get on with it. But in general, yeah, I'd say every year's a lucky year, I'd say. What are you? Are you a...
I don't know, I'm just going to ask some of the people here, Vic. Are you mainly lucky or mainly unlucky?
I'd say lucky. But I think that's based on how you perceive things in general.
Yeah, it's a lot of perspective in it.
Yeah.
I thought I was so lucky.
Yeah. Neil?
Lucky, yeah. Definitely worse. 2 years.
That's lucky. Isn't it funny? The reason I asked everybody, because I thought it'd be interesting to see, because I reckon, I don't know how many people went to Afghanistan and fought, and I don't know how many people got blown up by a landmine and lost a leg, but I'm guessing the probability of it happening to you is pretty low.
Yeah.
So I think he was pretty unlucky, right? If you look at statistics, this is why it comes down to. Actually, though, at 35 years of age, and obviously, you know, you had your mum before that, it's tragic. Still, you have an outlook on life as lucky. And that's got to be mindset. There's got to be people listening to this who think they're unlucky, that have still got a mum at 45 and got 2 legs and didn't get blown up in Afghanistan. Now, they might have some other problems, I get that. But it is really interesting how most, everybody, actually 100%. I think I am mainly lucky, which is weird because I don't think I have much luck. But what I haven't had, touch wood, and there's no wood here right now, but I haven't had loads of deep bad luck. Are you with me? I've not had loads of injuries. I've not had massive operations. I've not had... so I feel like my life over a period has been generally more lucky. But sometimes when I look at, particularly in... I don't know, particularly maybe in business even, I always think, God, you've been unlucky there. You know, a deal like should have gone through, literally with £1 million in it, blown out on the last minute. The amount of times that would have happened, it's been blown out more often than it's happened. But I always look at life overall and think, yeah, but hold on a minute, you've not been in hospital for 12 months. You've not, I've had my parents for a long time, blah, blah, blah. But again, you can pick what's lucky and what's unlucky and what's positive and what's negative, and dependent on your outlook.
And that's your mindset, isn't it? That's which we'll come on to perspective, but I think it is all down to how you want to view the situation. I think for this particular topic then as well, it's worth noting that if you are of the mindset of you are unlucky and, you're down on your luck, you're in a rut, what are the things to get you out there? Because when you are in that, like I say, I've just said, I feel I'm a lucky person. But no doubt about it, there's been days, weeks, months, maybe even the odd year where I felt, this is just, this is a hard one. It's been a bit unlucky type thing. What are the things to do when you're on that kind of spiral of no luck at all type thing? Because I think that's where you want to then try and spring it back into action, isn't it?
I think you mentioned Barry Earn. It really resonated with me.
He's one of the best speakers I've ever heard, by the way.
So good. But he really resonated with me when he said, and in his quote was, when you need a hand, expect a kick in the nuts, I think is what he said. And it stays with me all the time. That sentence at the time, because, if I look at every aspect of my life right now, I should really be grateful, right, for where I am and what I've got. And I'm not saying I always am. I actually do try and practice gratitude, by the way. That's something that I've tried to do more recently, because otherwise I'll just find the things that I'm not happy with and moan about.
Yeah.
But it is really funny. Sometimes when you're having a bad run of form, bad luck, you're kind of thinking, give me a break. Cut me some slack. Fucking hell, give me the rub of the green. It never comes.
No.
In fact, you will always, and it might just be outlook, you will always then get booted.
More crap.
Also.
More shit, yeah.
And actually, society also is responsible for that. Because if I look at even now, we've got different organisations, right? And we've got everything from travel agents that we own to a sports brand that we own. And I look at my missus trying to get our sportswear brand off the ground. And I watch 10 hours, 11 hours a day, non-stop, 4 kids, 11 hours a day, bam, 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 non-stop. Somebody wants an order, then they cancel. There's a wholesale appointment, wants something. Oh, they've just spent the budget. I look at it and I'm like, fucking hell. Somebody reach out and, I don't know if the words help or create some fortune or.
Yeah.
And I tell you now, I'm telling you in life, right, people want. Sedulo, people see as a success story. I never have to think, really, I hope somebody can give me tickets. I'll go through a week and it'll be like, oh, do you want front row tickets at such a thing? Oh, do you want to come to a box at such a... Oh, do you want this? And I think there's 7 things here this week that somebody's reached out to something that doesn't need it. And this was Barry's point.
Yeah.
Society looks at people that don't need it and gives it you. So, for example, if you're rich and you're a celebrity, you'll go into the club and you'll have a booth and it's all free.
Yeah.
You don't need it at that point. It's weird how society, and it did stick with me around that sentences. Nobody will look in and think, I'm just looking at that brand now. I'm looking how hard they're trying. Got that part doing that world's brand new. I know we're going to help that brand. What they'd rather do is offer me a box on behalf of something for Sedulo because it's already deemed as a success. So if there's people out there right now who might not have the success, you see, I see both ways because I've got various businesses, some are doing well and some aren't. And the ones that aren't doing well constantly get a kick in the bollocks.
Down on the luck.
And the ones that are doing well are constantly fed more of it, even by society. So it's not even a luck thing, that. It's like society, people will attach themselves more to and offer more to things that are successful. Bit of a shame, by the way, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I see both angles.
So what do you do then? Is it just a case of you just ride the storm and just wait for that luck to change? You keep working hard?
First of all, you don't rely on anybody, do you? First of all, if you're putting a hand out for somebody to help, or somebody to help, and you're going to expect, I think you expect a kick in the nuts. So don't put your hand out and don't get a kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Because the minute you need something from society in general,
you don't get it.
You don't get it, and it disappoints you. It's a shame, that, by the way. But so my first part is don't rely on anybody.
But I think that it's interesting, because I think that then what does is create a bit of a kind of like a warrior mindset of, that kind of we'll fuck them all type thing. Then we're gonna work harder. We're gonna batten down the hatches. Come on, we don't need anyone. And you kind of almost, you'd like to think, would almost stay in your own lane but work harder, and then gain success. And then you become on the flip side. Then, well, that's the hope, isn't it? Where you are then successful, and people do say, "Oh yeah, do you want to come here, or do you want to do this, and do you want that opportunity?" That's the hope, then, isn't it?
Do you ever have a me against the world attitude?
Sometimes, yeah, and I think it works well. I think it can work really well. I remember when I joined the Marines, for example, it was like 32 weeks training, and I failed a test like about 10 weeks into training or something it was. And I remember my dad being so proud. He'd obviously told half a bootle that I was in the Marines when I actually wasn't even halfway through training yet.
Yeah.
And it was a case of, right, that's it. It's me against everyone now. I'm not leaving here until I come home with a green beret and I can say I'm a Royal Marine Commando. And it definitely was like this is me, Andy Grant, against everyone. I'm not leaving here until I'm a Marine. Thankfully, it worked out. And I think when you do get into that mindset of, right, that's it, I ain't stopping for no one, this is me against everyone, fuck everyone, you do create like a bit of a monster inside yourself that you can go the extra percent, the extra mile.
I think that is a strategy. I think that is a strategy that can work.
On the football, Jose Mourinho famously done it. He come into Chelsea and he basically, I don't actually think anyone hated him at first that much, but he was like, everyone hates us here. And I don't think he did, but he kind of jumped into that dressing room. Oh, look, the press are talking about us again. This is, really everyone's down, and look, we're going to pull together. And look what they've done.
Well, if you look at Man United, right, you won't have appreciated this from Liverpool, but I would say Man United was everybody's second club in the 80s. They didn't win anything, right? They'd obviously had their history. They had the Busby Babes, they had the Bobby Charltons and all this kind of stuff. When they weren't winning, I would say United was everybody's second team. And then Ferguson created them to be the most hated team that won. Do you know what I mean? And they had a real us against anyone but United. They call everyone Abus around Manchester. It was anyone but United. But I would say there was a period 3 or 4 years before that when nobody nobody hated Brian Robson. Nobody hated Ron Atkinson. Nobody hated Man United, but they actually created that us against the world. And I, by the way, do it in Sedulo all the time. I constantly look at competitors and create battles in my own head with either staff that have left, that'll show them, or people we've come up against on deals where they've been, even in the past, where they've been obnoxious or mistreating of us, or even I've found something where I thought I'll use that as fuel, as they've talked down to us, and I'll be in a competition with them. And so I think that's
almost then using being down on your luck, isn't it? Or look at the times we were unlucky there. Do you know what I mean? Is that what you mean? As in, so
I think so. I think I use a lot of that as
a fire for that.
Almost like like a fuel, fire, an aggressive thing in my stomach that even sometimes it's just me that knows it. But I'm in competition and battles with organisations that probably don't know they're in a battle with me. And in my head, I've destroyed some of them. Absolutely destroyed some of them.
But that's a perfect of how we start, though. It is about mindset, isn't it? That luck, that unlucky, whether you're in a battle with someone, it is all your perspective and mindset.
The other thing is how to deal with it, I think, is how to deal with everything is to understand that it's temporary. Going back to your point at the start. The reality of it is when things are going well for us, one of the things I don't really do is get carried away. I don't get carried away at all, in fact, by things going well, because you just know it's temporary. And the good news about that is when things are going absolutely dire, you also know it's just temporary. As long as you don't wallow in it. Because if you do wallow in self-pity, and you do look out for the next piece of bad luck and the next piece of bad luck, you're constantly looking out for the bad luck. You're going to get more of it.
If you're constantly looking out for the bad luck, you'll miss the good luck. You know what I mean? You'll miss the opportunities and the good luck that's there for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a big one on it passes. It comes in waves. Good luck, bad luck comes in waves. I think it's about how you view that as well. Like, you know, it's how you view. You spoke about me, it's unlucky being blown up, but some of the opportunities I've had, some of the places I've been, the people I've met, I'm so lucky to have had these opportunities. So again, it's how you want to view those situations or those bouts of bad luck or bouts of good luck. I think that's on you. I think your understanding the past, your mindset, I think they're all things to consider when maybe feeling a little bit sorry for yourself that you're down on your luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else to add. I had something else to say, but it's slipped my mind now. I just think the reason why we did this is somebody put on Instagram on one of your posts, when you put a topic, they put being down on your luck. And I think if you have the approach that you're down on your luck, until you change that mindset, you're going to be down on your luck, aren't you?
This is a story, right, which is no way, you know, I'm not kind of advocating, you know, bloody gambling type thing, but it's just a funny mindset thing that we had. And I remember years ago, with my little girl's mum, and we went to races, the Grand National it was, go every year. And I was with a friend, and I said, right, first round, what do we all want? And I said, and it was the only reason I'm telling this story was to make a point about mindset. If we'd done this 10 times, it wouldn't have worked out another 10 times, but and I said, right, we're going to start the day as if we're already lucky, if we've already won. So we get champagne all around, so bucket of champagne, great. And it was just this funny mindset of, listen, we're going to win, we're going to be lucky today, it's a lucky day. And funny old thing, we won a fortune that day, and we ended up in town all night, and it was just one of those things where if I'd turned up going, oh, I'm going to miss this round out, I'm going to lose a fortune today, I don't want to. Do you know what I mean? There's two ways of kind of looking at a situation, and I think going into life with an attitude of, come on, let's be lucky, come on. I think that can sometimes breed good luck, whereas like you've just said, if you're constantly thinking, right, I'm down on me luck, I need some help, I'm down on me luck, then...
But it is like the gambler, isn't it, that bets and loses, and all of a sudden now they're chasing. You can be sure that they're going to bet and lose, can't you? The more you need it,
it's further it gets away.
You need it, the more obvious the outcome is going to be, and negative.
Yeah.
And I do think sometimes, again, you chase things, and when they don't go right quick enough, or in the right, I think we're quite bad at letting, I was speaking to
trust on the process.
Of trusting the process and trusting the journey. And I always try to think, I knew there was something, I'm glad it's come back to my mind. Sometimes I think when you're down on your luck, you start looking around for things that are also going wrong. So something goes wrong, you go, and that's gone wrong, and this has gone wrong, and I got blown up in Afghanistan 15 years ago. And if you're not careful, you can do that. And you talked before about one of the ways in which you can deal with it. And one of the ways, and don't ask me how I've got this, but I'm quite fascinated with how the military work. And I'm quite fascinated with that kind of put one step in front of the other, progressive approach. And I had a client the other day have some bad luck. What he thought was bad luck. He's in sport, and he's a fighter in sport, and he keeps nearly getting these fights and then not getting these fights. But I actually messaged him and said, "You're so desperate for these fights that every time it falls through, it's like your whole world's ended." And then that blends to, and this is not right, and I've got this injury, and before you know it, there's all these things. Yes. And I think sometimes if you was in a battlefield, and I've never been in one, but if it was carnage and you put your eyes up to try and assess what's going on. By the time you'd assessed it, you've probably been shot. And if you did, or you'd freeze, or, by the time you looked at what was going on, you think, I can't make a difference here, or you'd overanalyze and overassess. I think there's sometimes a time to not analyse. So if you think that's going wrong and that's going wrong and that's going, just stop analysing. Just forget it. What can you control today or this second? I can do this activity. If it was a military, they put one foot in front of the other. This could be apply for that job.
Yeah, just make
Tell your missus you love them. Get some. It could be anything that just creates a step forward away from the current way. And I always feel like the military is just a great example. And this is really mad, but I think, imagine in World War II, if everybody knowing out there thought, when we got on this battlefield in a minute, let's just see what's on. There's no time for that. It's shoot your gun, one step forward. 2 seconds later, shoot your gun, second step forward. And sometimes in life, I mean, I do it all the time, by the way. And loads of times you'll say how it's going, and I'll say to you, same old, you'll go, oh, are you all right, mate? I'll go, yeah, it's one foot in front of the other. I'll send that a lot.
You said something yesterday.
Did I? I'll send it a lot.
Sometimes that step can just be the first step into changing that bad luck into some good luck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then like we said about the bad luck, it can compound. Those first steps into good luck can then start compounding. And before you know, you're on a roll. And then that bad luck was weeks and months ago, and you're like in a much better place now. The
people who I've seen who have been successful, and I've never seen them before, are the ones desperately chasing good luck. I actually don't know of one.
And the last thing I'll say on the luck as well is, if you're going to moan so much about bad luck, be sure to mention good luck when you're having good times, because I guarantee you, people who are feeling a little bit hard done by will moan about how unlucky they are. But when they're flying, it's how hard they worked.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's all their own doing. It's nothing to do with good luck. It's just all how, you know. So if you're going to moan about bad luck, make sure you give good luck a little pat on the back and say thanks to that as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, that's our take on luck. Let us know what you think. Good luck, bad luck, what are you? Keep the comments coming. We'll see you next week.